Hello guys. Okay, so just did a little test run. So for those of you that joined me for the test run, thanks. But it's been deleted, and everything was alright when I listened, heard it back. So I am here today and gone tomorrow, but basically we're coming on today because there's just some things that we think we need to be bringing to your attention, and the first thing is that Sandbox can potentially be making a breakout. Now, as I started to record the video today, Sandbox was in the red, trading against Bitcoin. However, which was the reason why I wanted to make the video, is just to let you guys know that it's now breaking out. And it's funny because if I go down to the minute candle, let's go down to let's say the 15-minute candle. Bear in mind it was only about half an hour ago I decided that I was going to do it. It's only just started breaking out now, so it's pretty cool that we're almost on time. If I could have got the video out to you sooner, I would have done. But sometimes better than no time. Okay. Now, so today's going to be looking at Sandbox. I'm also wanting to be looking at Bitcoin and see where Bitcoin's heading, and also wanted to be looking at Cardano and where Cardano is going to be heading as well, which is around here somewhere. There we go. So there's Cardano. Most of my stuff, by the way, I'm going to be looking at today will be trading against Bitcoin. However, I will be mentioning the dollar price as well for you. Okay. Now, you as an audience will be all at different levels. You'll have different knowledge levels. You'll be different TA levels about where you are. So I don't want to speak gobbledygooch to most of you, but at the same time, if I don't use the correct terminology for the trading community, then they're not going to really understand what I'm saying, and they don't want to listen to it. So please excuse me if a lot of this goes over your head, but stick with it. If there is anything that you didn't understand and you want me to go over in another video, or you want to contact me on the Discord, then feel free to do so, and I'm happy to spend a little bit of time with you when I get time to do so. Right, that being said, I have the chat window open, so you can feel free to start chatting amongst yourselves in the live chat there. And as that's happening, I just want to go onto my videos and make sure I am actually live, and it looks like I am, so that's a positive thing, right? Okay, so let's start with Sandbox. What is Sandbox? Well, I've got their website here, and it is a pretty cool project. We're living in a system, aren't we, that's pressured. It's difficult, it's difficult to live life in the normal world, and it's only going to get more difficult. And we want a way out of this, which is probably why Netflix has done so well, and other entertainment packages do really well too. And this universe, I'll call it, calling it a metaverse. This universe that they're creating is a way of us escaping reality and going into a digital world. The world of digital has gone nuts anyway. Since I was a child at school, we had the first sort of main PC, and that had come on leaps and bounds since the Commodore 64 and the Amstrad CPC 464, etc. Now PCs are incredible, and our smartphones are more powerful than any of those computers. We used to have music on tapes, and you could copy your tape to tape, or tape off the radio your favorite songs or whatever, and that's what music was all about. And then there's got music, then you've got videos. You used to have VHS. They put into a video recorder, video player, VHS, and then it went on to CDs and DVDs, and then they went to Blu-ray, and now we're streaming. So currency, we used to go and use debit cards and checkbooks. We used to be able to go into a shop, and they go with a piece of paper that would have a carbon backing, and it would scan your credit card, and then they would end up sending it off, and that would be the way that it would debit your card. And that was advanced. And now you just pay with your phone, don't you? And everything's contactless. And most of you will have heard of, because you're watching me now, most of you will have heard of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. They've got it sorted out in China, and the America's looking at it, and so are we here in Britain. Or should I say United Kingdom. So yeah, looking at the world and going digital is the way that it is happening. And here we are with this metaverse, this universe, if you like, this metaverse, this planet that is created for us. Now, as you look at it, it looks very similar to kind of the what's the name of it? What's the name of it? It'll come to me in a moment, but there you go. You've got this universe here. Now, at the moment, if you want to go and play the game, you've got to connect it with a wallet, whether it's Binance Chain or whether it's MetaMask. You've got these different ways of connecting your wallet to pay for things in there. Now, this means that you can go into this game soon enough. At the minute we can't, but we will be able to go into the game, and we will be able to buy land, and on that land we can buy houses. On the houses we can buy bits of art to go on the walls. We can buy furniture. We can buy pretty much anything, including our own trainers and shoes and uniforms and things like this. So it's just another world, but it's all digital. And if you think that's too far-fetched and it's something that's just going to be here today and gone tomorrow, as we scroll down, you got to, that's what this artwork is, this NFT. As we go down, look at the people that have invested in it already. We have Atari, we have Snoop Dogg, we have the Smurfs, we have Hell's Kitchen, we've got Adidas. Adidas have got a massive plot. And for every time that somebody buys one of these plots of land or buys anything in there, it needs to be bought with stuff like sand, right? So now Adidas have gone in. What happens if Nike wants to go in? They've got to purchase a load of sand and use that currency to buy it. So when we now look at the cost and the move over the last, I don't know, what's that? So where are we now? We're now on the 1st, aren't we? So let's go from, say, the 1st of November, as well, actually the 2nd. So let's go to the 2nd of November to its high. We made 370% in 1 month, 370% in a month. And that's because it's kicking off. This is still early days. When I got in for the first time with Sandbox, I got in here. This is where I got in, and I thought when I did it, it's a risky move. It's already made a massive amount. It was like 80% or something. I must have been going from the other part. Hang on, give me a sec. It was must have been from there then. Yeah, 80% when I got in, 85%. It was around about here anyway, and I ended up coming out when I started seeing this drop here, getting a bit scared, if you like, thinking, not sure what's going to happen. I've already made a massive move and doubled my position size. I'm getting out and seeing what's happened. Now, one of my biggest tips for anybody starting out and learning how to use the tools is to get au fait with the Fibonacci retracement tools. This helps you find times of support and resistance using human emotion, or using the Fibonacci numbers that we find in nature. They're very, very much closely attached to our emotions. So as things start to go up, our emotions kick in, and so does everybody else. So it finds resistance and it can't get past it. Likewise, it finds support. Now for me, I find, and as we go through today's video, you will see this area here, this red line, which you won't see on your Fibonacci if you go into your settings. You won't see that on there. So this is something you've got to add for yourself, is 0.66. It's an area for me that has saved my bacon a lot of times and from losing money, and it's also helped me get great buy signals. So when I came out here, fine, I made that big profit. and then come back into it when I came in here, and I'm really pleased that I did. Was questioning my sanity as I was doing this, thinking, yeah, but we could just come straight down here to the 382 or the 236 after having such a massive rally, thinking that the RSI would need some breathing space and relief, especially when I looked at it on the weekly. You can see that, there isn't anywhere else for the RSI to go, really. I mean, it caps out at 100, and anything over 90 is already way too high. So for us to have another week of a massive rally, I think it needs more breathing space than that. But this here is a signal to me, and we hit it. So I'm like, okay, well, it's a fight against the head, the heart, and I put my trade in. In the meantime, told a friend to get theirs into Cardano. They also trade in Bitcoin, so they did that last night, and it's up 12% today. Why did I tell them to do that? Well, as I was happy to take the risk, because last night we were down at these areas here. I was happy to take the risk because it's my money, but because it was somebody else's money, I was like, let's give them a more a safer plan, if you will. So I ended up telling them to get into Cardano would probably be the place to be. Now, looking at Cardano, excuse the fact that I'm speaking so fast, but at Cardano, you can see here that we have hit this line here, this red line. What's this red line here? It's this 660. So this is why I told them to get in. And what we're finding now is that we have we've got this lower low, but a higher low on the RSI, signaling a potential reversal. As that's happening, we've hit the 660. So together, that's what I would call a confirmation of a trade. So they're in there, and that's good. That's good. All we need to do for that person is that they just need to hold on now and decide whether they're going to take their profits here and wait for us to get back over this area, because it could potentially come down, in which case get out now and then go back in and then ride it back up again, or are they gonna just turn around and hodl or all the way through to the to the relief of the trade, which hopefully is the all-time high and onwards and upwards and onwards, which is obviously they'll double their money, 100% profit, and then potentially going up to the 2618, going up 172% on Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin's rising as well. So against fiat currency, they can make a lot of money. All right, okay, so Sandbox. Like I was saying earlier, at the time of me making this, okay, we got Frank Steiner. After I did a fib retracement on TradingView, how do I spread out the lines so that they're not all crushed together? Hey, dude. Okay, so they're not crushed together. Well, they will be crushed together if you do that, But if you do that, they're not. You'll have to rephrase the question. Sorry, Frankie. Apologies. You'll have to explain what you mean about that. What I can tell you is that if you go into... let's just go into your fibs here. Go into the settings of your fibs. So let's say you're drawing your fibs here. Or let's just make them a little... There you go. You right click, go into settings. This is where you can edit stuff. So I've got my 66 here, 0.66, and I've highlighted it as red because I wanted it to stand out. The TradingView's defaults are they're under their visibility. I think it is. No, is it style background? There you go. You got your background colors. That I don't like to see the colors personally. I just like to see it. I like to see the charts and the candles and any other things that I draw on there, like trend lines and things, moving averages, Ichimoku clouds. But they can all start getting a bit confusing if you've got too much going on, and then you've got the fibs over the top of it. So I bring the background down to 0. I input a new one of them, and I've got so much more that I could put on there if I wanted to. But this 0.66 is incredible, and it got my entry price there. It got me to tell my friend to get the entry price just here, because I was saying last night is because they were also in in thinking of what to do with Sand, because they were in Bitcoin at the time. But obviously we're getting this rally now, and this is like a once every 4 years opportunity this month. It's going to be an incredible month. So why would you be in Bitcoin if everything else is going to be going faster than Bitcoin, right? That's assuming that everything does. Which brings me on to the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is going to be the key for us to be looking at, because whenever we see this coming down in this downtrend, this is telling us that Bitcoin is going to lose traction against the altcoins. And what you're going to find is that the altcoins are all going to start fighting for the higher place on coin market cap or Gecko or whatever it is that you use. And so make sure you keep your eye on this. You can also use the fibs on this, because this is essentially this is a currency pairing. What it is it's a pairing of Bitcoin versus every other altcoin. So you can use your fibs on here. You can use the Ichimoku cloud on here. You can use the Donchain channels on here. You can use the MACD and the histogram of that to work out your charts. So it's all usable. Okay, so that's something to think about. Okay, going with the that's on reverse possibly. Let's have a look. Settings. Yeah, it is. Okay. Let's just delete that. Going from the top to the bottom. What I'm doing here is I'm using this low here. If I go to the weekly, there is actually a further low that we can use. Oh no, that was it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's get that there. Let's use this guy here. No, actually, let's see how far we can go with this. Let's see how far we can go with this. Because these extensions, you see, these extensions, there you go, are there for our benefit. Right. So we're bouncing here. We're bouncing. Okay, we've come below the 786, which is normally the 0.786 is another one of those areas of a bounce. And normally, if you hit it, it's a strong area of support. We broke it, which means it's potentially possible for it is very much easy for us to come down to the local low or the previous low, which in this time is the all-time low. It's much more easy this time, because back then in January 2008, because just down here, look, when I hover over, you got January 2008. So we're talking, 3 years ago, we had a lot less currencies. Now we've got, like, we're talking about Sandbox now. But Sandbox, whilst the concept was about of the meta world, or the meta universe, the concept was about, it wasn't as readily recognized. And with the products that Apple are bringing out, and Google about the glasses that they're wearing and all the rest of it, this metaverse, for it to start coming into virtual reality, is not as far around the corner as people think, I think. So there's a lot more about it. There's a lot more smart contracts out there, a lot more companies using smart contracts. So things like Cardano, which we're talking about today, things like Ethereum, things like Algorand, all these projects that carry smart contracts are a lot more. There are a lot more of them now. So for the dominance this year to come down and be less than it was 3 years ago, I think is unlikely. So it's the opinion of myself, in my humble opinion, that the price of it's the opinion of myself that we will see a Bitcoin dominance falling below what it did back in 2018. That's just my humble opinion, and if I'm wrong, then I'm sorry. There we go. Looking at the the lows here. So you're getting higher lows if it was on an upward trend, but it's kind of not. It's kind of neutral. So we could see this kind of happening over the next few days, like the next week or two, and then around about Christmas time is coming down here. I just see it that it's all heading on a downer. You can't say that this is hidden bullish divergence because we're not there. It's not hidden bullish divergence because we're not in an uptrend. So yeah, we just got to wait and see if I'm right, and you know, I hope that I am. I hope that I am right. Okay, that's the Bitcoin dominance really. I'm just kind of saying that you need to keep your eye on this. When we see this change and break above this area here of I've got it down as 43.51. Is that right? Yeah, 43.51. Assuming that I've drawn them out correct. If we get above there at that 43.51 and then get a bounce on that, then you know, we'll potentially be moving back up to those levels here of this red line, which is about the 50% mark. Yeah. So Cardano, how did I know it was going to break out? Why was it something that I was confident enough to give a trading signal to a couple of people actually? Well, the reason why was that there is bullish divergence here. You got a higher high on the RSI, a higher low on the RSI, sorry, whilst the price is coming down and hitting this trough here, and it's hitting this line here. Get out of the way. This line here, which is this 660 pocket that I so much adore. So there you go. That's why I was happy with that. Ichimoku Cloud, I haven't brought it up, but I can pretty much see that the Tenkan and the Kijun will not be above the cloud. No, it's not. But when it does, that will be the buy signal for Cardano. But it's going to happen quick. It's got to happen quickly if we're going to end up doing it this year. Days away. I think everything's just about to explode so much. That is against Bitcoin. Just out of curiosity, let's have a look at Cardano and the dollar. Yeah. Okay. So this is a sell signal here when you're when you got the Kijun underneath the Tenkan. It's a sell order there, and the buy order will be when they cross over and we're above the cloud. I don't have the lagging span on normally. It just makes things a little bit confusing. Let me just take that lag span off. Style. Let's take him off. Press OK. There you go. So what we're looking for the buy signal to be is that the blue ends up crossing the red and we're coming out of the cloud. That could happen over the next 2 weeks, and then yeah, according to this, I'm saying that Cardano will overtake Bitcoin later on in the month and into January and February. When everything else plummets, I think that Cardano will continue to go up. And yeah, and what's Bitcoin going to do? I mean, Bitcoin is, so here I am saying it's a bullish signal when this red line's underneath the blue line and we're above the cloud. This is where your buy signal is, and here it is working. And then your sell signal is where it crosses back over here, because that you're no longer in that buy in that trade then, and then that trade then becomes null and void. So then you exit it. And indeed, you exit it. So when do you go back in according to the Ichimoku Cloud rules? Well, you go back in when, again, the red is under the blue, so we need a crossover of this. One's a faster line than the other, you see, and then we're back above the cloud, which can happen in just a matter of 3 or 4 days. The blue line can come up and cross the red. Boom, out the clouds, and away we go. That cross is happening on the 21st of December, the cross of the cloud here. So yeah, it could all be ready for Christmas. And these massive candles, they're very, very common when you come out of it, and the buy signal's there. Same with the sell signal. These big, massive candles happen very quickly with the Ichimoku Cloud. So it's a powerful indicator. If you don't know how to use the Ichimoku Cloud, have a look at my tuition videos. Sand raising, is it again? Is it what we're going up more? Yeah, it's doing well. So yeah, this 786. Remember me saying that it is a strong point. It's a strong point there. So yeah, we could find. You know, there's a lot of here in this VPVR. There's a lot of trading area going on right here. So we might find that we touch this a couple of times and then come back down, gain some ground, maybe get some get some more confirmation um, of hidden bullish divergence, which would be really great and a good sign, because once that happens and we get a couple of candles confirming this hidden bullish divergence, that means that we're up for a really big leg up past the all-time highs. So we're going up to this one here. I'll just get rid of. Yeah, we can be heading up to yeah, huge amounts. It's great. It's great. Let's just see what that is as a percentage. Up to 22,200 sats is an 80%, 87% rise up from where we are now in Bitcoin, not in fiat. In fiat, it will be even more as Bitcoin rises. So yeah, exciting times for Sand. So that's the Sand project. That's the Sand technical analysis. Where can we see Sand going? I think that the major part of the audience would want to see Sand traded against the US dollar. So let's go on to Binance there and have that in the arsenal. And let's bring him up because I haven't looked at that yet. So Sand is still in this buy signal. Do you remember me saying a minute ago about the Ichimoku cloud? Is as long as the red is underneath the blue and we're above the cloud, then we're still in a buy signal. So they haven't crossed yet. So if you're in the trade, according to the Ichimoku cloud rules, you would stay there, right? So okay, so what we got here? We got Frank saying, where do I buy Sand? And Jason Chang says, try Binance using, and it is on Binance. It is on Binance, and it's tradable against most of the top things like USDT is tradable against BNB, it's tradable against Bitcoin, and against fiat currency. So yeah, it is a place to buy. So yeah, Binance it does it. I think Coinbase has a wallet, but you can't trade on there. Binance is the place to be. I wouldn't trust any other platform. If you can buy whatever it is that you need to buy on Binance, to be fair. Binance brag that they've never been hacked and not compensated people for the money that they've lost, and I think that's pretty cool. It's almost like an insurance. How true that is, I don't know, but I have heard this. Okay, so when people speak about divergence and the like, what do they mean? Well, what they mean is divergence is like when something isn't right. It just doesn't sit right. There's something wrong. Something's not converging. It's diverging, right? So if you've got the price going up, but the strength of it, which is what RSI stands for, the relative strength is going down, then it's not right. But if the price action's going up and the strength is going up with it, then everything's going along kosher. But as soon as something else starts to happen, like you get a higher high, but then on the RSI you get a lower high, then you say, okay, well, it's running out of gas, it's running out of strength, and that's what happened a few times on Bitcoin. Remember when we had that big drop? Show you here. This is just prime example of some. That wasn't the plan. That was not the plan. All right, let's try that again. Right. So yeah, that's what happened here. So as we were having this big kind of rally, you got this this high, and then it went higher, and then it went higher. Yeah. In fact, you could even count that. Yeah, let's just leave it at that one. You can count that one as well. But so it was going higher, 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 but the RSI was showing lower, lower, and then lower. So you could see that this, and this is bearish divergence. You can see that this was about to happen, and it wasn't until something else took over that gave us a confirmation that this bearish divergence was about to play out. That things started getting a bit easier to hang on a sec, guys. A bit easier to know that. So I've just realised that my mum's phoning me. Okay, so this is what bearish divergence is. And bullish divergence, it's the same but the other way round. So bears attack from the top. So if you're looking for bearish divergence, you're looking at the tops of these things. If you're looking for bullish divergence, you're looking for the bottoms. And this is why when we were here, I knew that we were coming down, is because we'd got these lows here, but as the lows were coming in higher, the lows of the RSI were getting to the point where they were becoming oversold, meaning more. If something's oversold, you need more to sell, right? So, but here it changed the dynamics. We ended up getting a higher low going with this instead of a lower low. So the hidden bullish divergence, which was happening alongside these, ended up cancelling it out. So going over to Sand. Sorry if that didn't make sense, but for those of you that kind of get what's going on, that might have just confirmed some questions that you've got. Here we've got this situation now where we're in an uptrend, and hidden bullish divergence only plays out if you're in an uptrend. So we are indeed in an uptrend now. I haven't got them there, but we will be above the 50 and the 20 SMA. If I bring the Bollinger Bands up, that'll just quickly give me a confirmation of that. Yeah, so the Bollinger Bands have got a line through the middle of it, that kind of yellow orangey line, and that orange line, that Bollinger Band line, is the 20 simple moving average, and which is this line here. And as long as you're above it, then you're still in a bull or an upward trajectory. Yeah, and then the 50 is even more sort of powerful or a strong support. So if we're above the 20, then we're definitely going to be above the 50. So so we know that we're in an upwards trend. Whilst that's happening, we're in an upwards trend. So we've got this low here in Sand. We've got this low. Where are we, guys? We've got this low here, which is corresponding to this low here, and then we've got a higher low, which is this low here, and we've got a lower low here, which means that the lower we go, when we're looking underneath the bottoms, the lower we go here, the more strength we're gaining, because we're getting oversold to the point where we need to buy more, right? So while ever that keeps happening and we keep going up and getting higher lows, but lower lows on the RSI, as these are corresponding to each price movement, then we can expect the price to continue to go up, which was one of the things that I was looking at when I was deciding whether or not I personally was going to go over to Cardano, or whether I was going to stay in Sand, or split it, or whatever it was that I was going to do. Is I was looking at this situation and finding, do we have any hidden bullish divergence in play, and we did. So it wasn't until and what I was looking for really is the price to end up coming below the previous low here. And that the RSI ended up coming lower as well, in which case cancelling out that bullish divergence, that hidden bullish divergence, and showing us that a bearish divergence essentially playing out just here on these two, because obviously you've got this lower low, and a higher high there. If you look at that one, you see just along here, you see it says H. That just tells you the close. Sorry. If I go over here on this candle, the close there was 13,074, and the close on this one was 13,123. So it was a higher high. Okay, not much, but it was still a higher high, and that counts. When you look at when you look here, we had a lower low on the RSI, showing us that there was this bearish divergence potentially happening, right? But the reason why it didn't play out, and it couldn't play out, is because the hidden bullish divergence was still in play. And in my experience, whenever I've been trading, I always see that the hidden divergences normally outweigh and are more powerful than the standard bullish and bearish divergence. Okay, guys, so that is my thoughts on those things. Right, so that's what we've got here. So where do I buy? Try Binance. Okay, I'm using yes, same as I guessed before. Cool. All right, that's from Jason. Okay, cool. Scalping. Is it worth scalping at this point? Scalping, for those of you who don't know, what you're doing is you're getting a candle of the day, and you basically you're coming in and out and you're looking at it. So we've come down here today. We're now up here. You know, is it worth me now, for example, selling? Let's get. Is it worth me selling at this point here, waiting until we potentially drop back down to this 6-6 area that I mentioned on the Fibonacci's, and gaining, you know, or I shouldn't put it that way really. What I should do is turn around and go from here and go upwards instead, and that would be more accurate. But gaining it was 6% there, gaining 6%, and then just keep doing that every time. You know, yeah. Do you know what? You can make a lot of percent throughout a day, just by doing that every 2 or 3% on a candle. Just being patient on it. But I think that the area of crypto right now is tightening up so tight that it's like a spring ready to explode, or an elastic band ready to be pulled back, ready to set loose. And if you're not used to trading and you're not used to looking at these divergences and looking at the different tools that are available to us, and we're just scratching the surface on these. I haven't even brought up moving averages really. Yeah, it is. I wouldn't recommend it. I just wouldn't recommend it. I would say hodl and just keep buying every time that you can, and then come out and cash out at a conservative amount, and never put in more than you can afford to lose, because that's the advice that you give, and that's also the advice that you should take. So that's it really for today's video, guys. So where can we expect it to go? Sand. I was trading it against Bitcoin, and I bought sand up earlier for you. I promised you that I would give you price targets of where I think the sand can potentially go. Okay, so let me grab these fibs. Let me go from the top. And now, whereabouts do you go? That's another question. Well, you normally go from where the breakout happens. So, I mean, I can bring this up and start looking at all these areas here, and say, well, I'm going to go from the bottom of that green one, or the top of that green one, or whatever. But it didn't really break out then, did it? It broke out on this green candle here. This was the major breakout. They call these the three green soldiers, or the three soldiers, I should say, because they can also be red as well. If you end up getting three long red candles, then that can also indicate a reversal. But these were three bigger bodied candles as they went on. So this is where I would take my fibs from, to, I should say. So here we go, grab that, and that's where I'm going to take my Fibonacci sequence down to, okay? And then this one I'm going to bring to here, there, like that. And there we go. So price targets, excuse me. First price target is obviously going to be the local one, the 786. It is a strong resistance point now. It's been made with closed days below it. It's a strong point of resistance. But if we blast through it, then obviously the all-time high there at the top, at the zero, is obviously the next target. But moving on then from there to there. Now this is a massive jump. So what we do in this scenario, guys, right? Because that's a 56% jump there. And is there any guarantee that we're going to end up hitting £13.71 this cycle? No, there isn't. Not straight away. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Is it likely? Yeah, no comment. So what do you do in that scenario? Well, you do the same thing. You just draw another set of fibs from that point to that point, okay? And there's your next lines for where you want to be looking to. Remember me saying about this 6-6 point of being a strong area, and the 786 being strong, is that all this area here is strong, and this is strong. So these are going to be your price targets. Okay, is when you get to $10. It's no surprise that $10 is there, is that? So when you get to the 236, expect some resistance and some volatility, potentially even dropping back down again before moving back up. And then when we do, and these are the areas here. So do yourself a favor, get onto TradingView, sign up to the free trial version, and draw the fibs out. I'm going to save this video on here, and yeah, so copy these areas so that you can see it all. You know, you can see it all in your own time. You know, so feel free to just keep watching this video back and copying that. So from there down to the bottom of that, I'm on the daily, the 1 day. And yeah, so, and I've gone down from the start of the 3 green soldiers, and then I've drawn a new set of fibs from that extension all the way down. Okay, and I've drawn from the top down on this occasion because I wanted the extensions. And there we go, Tony Ghost, yes, CC, yes. My crew is coming into the chat, which is nice to see everybody. And yeah, good to have you here, guys. So yeah, I implore you guys to have a look at the beginning of the video and watch it through. Yeah, Sand, great project, and these are the price targets. So Jason says it needs to reach $11. Attention on candle tight or thin right. Hang on, let me see if I can read that again. Corey, yes, boss. Need attention on candle tight or thin right. I don't understand that one. Sorry, Jason. Do you want to give us that again? Come by, rewrite that for me so I can understand it a little bit better. Yeah, these are your price targets, and that's how you get the price targets together. All right. But I think the last thing to look at then, after we've looked at Cardano, did I do the Cardano price targets that we could be looking at? I know that we spoke about the let's just get rid of that. Right, okay. Again, I did mention that this 660 on the fibs are the area that I would be looking at and getting into, and why. Yeah, so again, what I would do at this point here, so this is the extension here, this 618, but a 1618 is no, sorry, this 2618 is the extension. So to find out where your targets are, you know, where you're going to find resistance, you would then do your fibs again. So you go from here to the bottom, and now you've got your new set of fibs of where you're going to start finding resistance, and you'll find that these areas kind of, especially around here, around this sort of 618 and 660, are going to be strong resistance. But once we break through, then you're all the way up to the areas there of this 2618. So yeah, there's going to be your main price target, I would say, for this year. But this is still Bitcoin. What am I doing, guys? To you, sorry. ADA USD. There we go. Let's do it there for you. You see, I trade, and those of you that know me, I trade everything in Bitcoin because I want more Bitcoin. I don't want cash. I want Bitcoin. Give me the Bitcoin. Right, I'm going to go from the point of breakout where I feel that it was a proper breakout, and you know, arguably we had a lot of volatility here and not really given a lot. This was kind of a rally, so I could come from here, but I would say really the start of the local breakout was going to be here. So I'm going to pull him up to here and say that that's where my breakout is going to go from, and then I've got my extensions of the fibs to start drawing other fibs from. So there you go. So we'll go from there down to there. Price targets for this year. Yeah, $4, $4.50. Yeah, between $4 and $4.50, and then once you get past $4.50, then if we can bounce off of that a couple of times and break through, then I would say yeah. Like I said earlier on this channel, is I think that with Cardano, looking at the Ichimoku cloud and where we are there, and how you know, Cardano's looking, I think it's a great time to buy in. We're at the right place, but I think that Cardano is, you know, when Bitcoin starts to fall, I think Cardano is going to continue and gain traction. So yeah, I think Cardano is just going to take a little bit longer But I think it's going to be bigger. It's going to be a bigger percentage. I mean, if I take the percentage of there to where I feel that we're potentially going to go to, we've got 288%. Whereas Bitcoin, I can only see making I don't know, 150% maybe at best. This bull run, ish, yeah. So there you go. That's Cardano price target as promised, and Sandbox as promised. And let's look at Bitcoin and just make sure what I'm saying is right. So we looked at the dominance and what we think's going on with the dominance there, and got to run, Tony. Good to you as always. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Phil. Right, Ghost. This is Corey. Cool. Thanks, Corey, man. Just to let you guys know, I don't have my Discord anymore. So I upgraded my phone to the latest iPhone. Yeah. And I ended up losing the authenticator. So I had to start all over again, and now I can't access the Discord. So that's why you haven't heard me on the Discord lately. Okay. Right. Here we are. We've got higher lows and higher highs. So we're looking good there. We're on the daily. Let's bring up the Bollinger Bands for the sake of the 20 SMA because it's just easier to do. So we'll bring up the Bollinger Bands. And we are above or below? It's close. Okay, so we're below at the moment. We're below. But we'll definitely, I can tell from here that we're above the 50. So ultimately, we are in a bull trend, but locally, we are not officially in a bull trend yet. According to the 50, and this is really where we're going to be looking because we're looking at a longer time frame. The 50 I'll just get that in there. Moving average, settings, inputs, 50. Okay. This is a mini death cross here. I'll get rid of the Bollinger Bands for a second. The 20 SMA is gonna follow the price quicker than the 50, right? We're doing. There we go. All right. So officially, we are officially in a bear trend. Actually, I was wrong. Right. So visible range here. Point of control. We are on the point of control from this breakout here, which is kind of where I'm seeing this point of control here. This red line. Price point of control here. So yeah, is it possible that Bitcoin could come down here and see these prices and kind of showing us that we're above the 50 to give us a confirmation, and giving the alts time to get their dominance and have this altcoin season? Yeah, it's possible. But the thing is that I see going on, and I mention it all the time, is that once you see a crowd saying things are going to happen, it happens. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. People FOMO in, and all you need is a black swan event, which it can't be seen by technical analysis, whilst that's arguable. Local small black swan events, they're difficult to see. And the Bitcoin has got this this reputation that it's going to hit $100,000 by December the 31st. Okay, you look at all the other the other YouTubers, the big names. They're all saying it. It's all on their channels that it's going to be at $100,000 by the end of the year. So whilst the technicals might not show that it is, we're not going to an oversold area on the daily yet. We're not there. We're not seeing any massive hidden bullish divergence there. We're not seeing anything that's going to say that we're going to hit, 100% increases from where we are. There's nothing that's sort of saying that. But this self-fulfilling prophecy, this fundamentals, these due diligence that you do, you look into it. People are saying that it's going to happen. So all it's going to take is people starting FOMOing in, and this perpetual motion of people buying and buying and buying can push the price up. And only then will other technical indicators start showing buy signals, like the Ichimoku cloud. Sorry, yeah. Which at the minute we don't have the buy signal on because everything's in the cloud. So yeah, could come down here to this point of control, giving the 50-day moving average a chance for it to bounce off of and gain support and then rally up from there. But I don't know. I think that with technical analysis at this point here, this close to December, I would say that not to stick to technicals too much if you're looking at hodling and then selling for profits later on. If you're a trader, then by all means. I mean, it's obviously we need to do this. If we're scalping or day trading or whatever, or trading over the course of a week, then we need to be looking at these things. But all it's going to take now is just a few days of big buyers and big volume, and then we're off to the races. And that's when all this lot will come out of the cloud, the Ichimoku cloud, and the Tenkan will be above the Kijun, and away we go. So yeah, and yeah, then things may turn around for the Bitcoin dominance, and then and go up as well. So price targets, which is what I was here to show you. Price targets, let's get rid of that and get rid of the moving average, which I was mistaken about. Okay, price targets. I want to do the same again. I want to look from where the breakout was. So I'm going to come from here, from the local top to the bottom of where the breakout was. I think that's just a wick there. So I'm going to go from there, and then I'm going to get my extensions. So price target 1. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Let's do these fibs. Very roughly, there we go. Very roughly. So this 660 takes us to 85,000. I would expect an area of resistance there at $85,000. So be wary and be ready to press the sell button if we get to that and start seeing a couple of big candles on the way down. But if we do break that, then the 776 is going to be the next area to keep your eye on. When we reach these levels, guys, you know, if you've got more than you can afford to lose, or you've got loans out to get Bitcoin in the past, then you're going to need to be staying at the computer all day and making sure that you don't miss out and end up riding it up and then riding it all the way back down again. The next place that you're going to find resistance is going to be the 88,000, and then the next area is going to be 93,000, and then if we end up breaking 93,000, I say that the next major area that we're going to see is 108,000. And do I think that 108,000 is possible this year? I think it's possible, and not only do I think it's possible, I think it's likely. I think that 100,000 is what everybody's plan is, but then I think we're going to overshoot it, like we did the 20,000 back earlier on in the year, when we ended up hitting 20,000 just here. Where we thought 20,000 would find like loads of resistance, and it was just a matter of just two hits on it, 2 hits, 2 days on that 20,000 mark just here. Look, those 2 days, that red and green candle just there, we got 2 hits, came down, and then we blasted straight through it all the way up to 25,000. So yeah, big massive overshoot there, where people thought we'd end up stopping out at, and we ended up making 23% more than that. And then a few days later, we ended up making massive gains from $20,000. So is it likely that we're going to overshoot 100,000 like we overshot 20,000? I think it's likely. Because 20,000 was this self-fulfilling prophecy that I'm talking about today. Why I'm saying that technical analysis is a difficult thing to trust when you have this this hype and this FOMO that's going to kick in the industry. There you go, Sandbox all the way down. So like I said about scalping it, is it worth scalping it? I said, didn't I? If you go back, just rewind it, go back about half an hour. I said we could possibly hit this area and then come back down again, and then we could buy back in again and, you know, scalp it if you wanted to. But it's so volatile, and we don't know what's going to happen with it, that if you don't know what you're doing, then you know, you shouldn't do it. I'm a little bit miffed that I'm making this video, because I could have traded that, and I didn't trade it because I was talking to you guys. So that's it for my TA, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll leave it up. Yeah, guys, just remember, don't be afraid to take the money off the table. Okay, you got to know when to hold it, and you got to know when to let go. And on the way up, you got to let go just as you bought in. You need to let go on the way up. You know, take out big chunks. You know, if you've got tens of thousands in there of money, then take a chunk off, and then take another chunk off. Buy yourself a car, or buy yourself your family for a holiday or whatever, and enjoy it. Take a chunk out ready for tax. Take a chunk out to pay back the loans if you ended up out taking loans or credit cards, and being naughty. And pay them off. What you don't want to do is sit on the other side of it like they did in 2017 with Bitcoin, because you know, it took a long time for everybody to get their money back, and it was, you know, it was terrible for everybody. Yeah, so yep, people bought in here, and it ended up taking a long time for them to get their money back. There's a little tool that I like to use. It's this one here. So, you know, they bought in here, and it ended up taking them before they ended up getting their money back, and then making some. It took them took them how many bars? 3, 6, 9, nearly 3 years. About 3 years before they started making their money back from what they did. So if you don't want to be in that situation there, what we don't want to do now is find ourselves where the Bitcoin price ends up being up here at sort of like 100,000 or whatever, and then you've been greedy and thinking, no, it's going to go up to 150 or 180,000, and a couple of big YouTube names turn around and say it's going to keep going up, and then all of a sudden all the big players start taking their money out, and then in 2-3 days we end up dropping 70%. And then what you'll have done is like a roller coaster. You'd have been sat on your seat holding tight, and then you'd just be coming down the other side, and then you'll look back with big wide eyes, looking back going, why, oh why didn't I take out? And you'll be unhappy that you didn't take anything out, and the wife or the husband will be screaming in your ears saying, why did you use all of our money? Now we're in debt, and we've got to wait 3 years to get our money back. All right, so don't forget to take your profits. Thanks for listening. If you got any value of today's stream, please just press the like button, and maybe subscribe. I will bring out monthly content for now, and because we're going to be needing to give some help to people on the other side of this, and I think that January, February and March are going to be some crucial times. All right, guys, so with that, I'll say thank you very much, and I'm going to press this end screen, and I will see you all on the other side at the beginning of January, and then we'll see where Cardano is and Bitcoin and everything. Sand, it's the way forward. It's a good project. ADA, Cardano, way forward. Some great projects. Other ones else to look out for is audio. This Audio One here, again, a great project. Luna, great project. Algorand, great project. Look at the metaverse, look into NFTs, whilst Chiliz is low again. Chiliz is a good one to get into. I believe Chiliz is going to break all-time highs soon. The Chiliz great one. So, yeah. Hey, Ronaldo, good to see you too, man. And thank you for your support. I received the love. I got it. I feel it right here. Hum. All right, guys. Cool. And, hold tight. Thank you. See you guys. Bye.